ER medium laser build or something. I'll say in a minute.
Hopefully you can see something with that one.
They're
be
supposed to have fixed
Funny
it.
otherwise.
I forgot to set up the
So-
weapon groups, but that's fine.
We can give like 10 seconds, but after it starts to do groups, I'm gonna say melee. Is it like a respawn setting that we can do, or is that last max standing? Oh, last max standing, you have a number of respawns. Okay, let's do. What the hell is happening here? Are you guys seeing the number of respawns fluctuate like crazy?
Yes, I am.
Yes, it is. What the heck?
Holy shit!
Oh, it stopped.
Okay.
That was interesting. Maybe somebody had a controller input or something. That's look weird. Okay, we don't do additive. Let's do last max standing with like 3 respawns and see what happens. Well, gentlemen. Oh, I'm also. And give everybody like 10 seconds to set weapon groups.
I say yeah. That's. Oh, they're actually pretty easily saved.
Some of them might be saved, but some of them you might just have to set. For example, this mech weapon groups, I've set them live in the video, and I've set them twice or 3 times now again. All right, ready? Mech murder shall commence in 5, 4, 3.
I've already been shot at.
2,
What the heck?
1. Ha ha. Wasn't me though. Let the murder commence.
I was being shot before I was even launched. What the heck?
Ooh, the holy water.
Who the heck?
That would be me.
I just did a lot of damage.
Whoa! Holy lag.
No, that was. Ugh.
Someone
I
just
just
slid.
tried to jank you.
I got killed.
There is the Phoenix Hawk in pristine condition. What happened there?
Yeah, I had to relaunch. Someone killed me before I launched out of bay. I blame Veridan.
I also blame
I was
Baron.
to say, better blame me.
Yeah. The 6 large pulse lasers, they're not good.
Oh, they are good. But this is the hyper def. This is literally the mean green machine. Who's shooting me in the ass here?
I got shot in the butt. What the heck?
Yeah, me too.
Jump jet fuel low. Jump jet.
I think Veridan's just farming me at this point.
Target destroyed.
Nope, he's not farming anybody anymore. But Nightstorm is lagging very hard for me.
Why? Huh.
Yeah.
Destroyed.
Huh.
Ah.
Systems offline.
It's funny how there's like fresh mechs around and they all gang up on me. But you will get your comeuppance, young ones. You hear me? That would be funny if you could do like random weird banter. Oh, why am I spawning outside? And the point of view that was strange.
Destroyed. New target. Weapons online.
Why are you running?
I don't want to die.
Trust me, you will die. Death is certain, only the manner of your death has not been decided yet.
It's very, very hard when you're getting shot by from 3 sides. I was fresh.
I mean, it
and
is a
suddenly
grand melee, basically, so...
So I'm not doing too well, but that's fine. I'm on my last life. I think.
I think you all are.
Let's gang up on TTB.
I just got farmed.
Ow. I made that build too well.
Weapon system destroyed.
It's a little bit warm in here.
Systems.
He hit my nose. My revenge will be swift and brutal. It will be so brutal. Oh! I got revenged. Why am I starting in third person mode? That is strange. Alright, Spectre. Spectre
Well, I
1!
can't change spectation.
Just you and
I'm trying
me.
trying to change who I'm spectating and it won't work. Weird.
There's clearly some weird stuff going on.
Oh, there it goes. Okay.
Cockpit kill.
Destroyed. Jump jet.
Alright, well, we have deducted that my build is very fair.
Note to self: don't bring a heavy to an assault fight.
Yeah, don't do that.
I mean, there is a famous line in the books that says it's only over when the super heavy dudes are done playing. And yeah, I mean, there's a reason why I made that video about the new build for the direwolf with the new omnipods. It is disgustingly good.
It's a medium pulse spam.
It's 17 medium pulse lasers.
Yeah.
It is literally the green wave of doom.
So you stay out of you'll stay at 700 or more meters away.
No. Any range. I started shooting at 1,000.
Yeah, but you don't do full damage before you're at like 600.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with not doing full damage.
I was like, there's still 17 of them.
It still hurts. Yes.
Still hurts. Okay, but that was fun. So I can see. So I mean, have you guys played a little bit more of this? What is your idea of this, or what is your feedback on this so far?
I've mostly played this with AIs, and that's too easy. It's basically too easy. But I did it with stock builds on Trueborn, and I was like dying once.
Yeah, I played a couple on expert with the AI, and I lost once, and that's because they ganged up on me. That's it. I literally got encircled and shot down, and I was in a mech 20 tons lighter than them.
I mean, you can also set it up so they can gang up on you, right? Because you can just give them different teams. You could set up teams like 1v1s, or you could do like up to 1v4, right? Which is what I did earlier when I was testing it. But I think the main strength of this game mode is just when you're playing co-op with friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there was also some
what you really
misunderstanding,
need to do
right?
is just you need to define the builds, and everyone has the same one, because you can see how imbalanced it is, right?
I mean, it's like Mechwarrior Online. If you don't watch TTB and you bring shit builds, or even if you bring TTB's builds, but TTB has a better build, no, that's the thing, right? You would have to balance it. You would have to balance it somehow, because it doesn't have any innate balancing, right?
If you win a round, you have to go down tonnage.
I mean, you could do fun things with your friends. You could literally make drinking games out of this. You could all run the same build, or you could make a challenge where every time you win a round, you have to go down a mech size until you have to win a round with the spider.
Can you imagine this mode with everybody like completely blasted? Nobody would be able to hit anything.
That would be fun. That would be fun. Like I think that's a game mode that you can have some fun with. Absolutely. As a single player though, I don't know how often you would play this. Because there's nothing you get out of this, right? It would just be like a different quick play move, right?
I made a comment in chat earlier that this really reminds me of Super Smash Brothers, and like the way you can set up like, oh, you want to have this many lives, it'll go for this round.
Mech
It's the
Smash
last person
Brothers.
standing. Yeah. Super Mech Brothers.
Let's try our
How
hands
basic it is. I
at
actually
Horde.
now genuinely believe they didn't start working on it until after release, because it does feel incredibly stripped down and basic. Like there's a lot of lacking stuff. There's not a whole bunch to it. So I mean, I'll actually give them that it feels it was an afterthought.
I mean, the thing is, you can either believe Russ when he says that they put it in afterwards, and I agree that's the most likely scenario. That just somebody came up with the idea, hey, we're planning to do this DLC. What about if we do this and threw that in there, right? I think that's probably how that happened. By the way, just choose whatever mech you would like. This is going to be assault, beach biome, and we'll see how far we get. I mean, I tried it earlier solo. My AI mates wouldn't respond to commands, so I couldn't repair them. Let's see how far we get with this one. And we could just talk about the modes while we're doing so, because I think that's a nice conversation. And I mean, afterwards, I want to have a longer conversation about the DLC
We might get
itself.
the bug too, so.
And we might get bugged. So
Yeah,
fingers
when you
crossed.
guys
I will
prepare
say
bang
I will
bug.
say I haven't had a chance to play Horde mode yet.
I've only seen people.
What do you mean?
play
Are you
Horde.
not playing Mechwarrior
I've
online?
played it 3 times so far.
Well, I mean, Mechwarrior Online exists, yeah, but
that was just an inappropriate joke. Because sometimes it feels like you're playing Horde mode. Ever tried to hold a position in Mechwarrior Online? You'll feel like Horde mode very quickly. Alright. I just need Spectre to choose his mech and finish up, and then we can go.
Yeah, I'm just changing a wee bit to be a bit more tanky and have a bit longer range.
Sure. That makes sense.
Still need to remove a ton.
But yeah, like the thing is, I've seen some people seem to have the idea that this arena mode that was added to the game would be some kind of like PvP mode with matchmaking and whatnot, which, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but they didn't state that anywhere. And I think even in my preview, I said that this is going to be to play with your friends, right? It's not something that would have matchmaking or anything. Like, here's the thing. Like from what I've taken from the feedback so far on my preview video, the feedback was mostly positive, like by and far positive. But some people, of course, didn't like the idea of the DLC or what the DLC provided. And I think if I take any criticism from this, it's that I should take a little bit more time to talk about these features in a way that also makes it clear what they're not. Because I feel that a lot of people, or not a lot of people, but some people actually completely misunderstood what they're providing with this game mode, right? They thought it would have like matchmaking like Mechwarrior Online, and I'm like, no, that's not gonna be the case. Also, I do have a mouse cursor right now. I'm literally in the game and I have a mouse cursor. And my mouse aim is not working.
Scan mode engaged.
Interesting.
Scan mode disengaged.
For you guys as well?
Mm,
My mouse aim is not working. Like I literally have the mouse cursor.
yeah, I've got a mouse cursor, which is
Yeah, my
weird.
mouse aim isn't working.
yeah.
either.
All right, let's go ahead and do this. Let's restart this mission. Speaking about bugs.
Yeah, because I could fire one weapon. That was it.
All right, let's see.
This is weird.
Okay.
And there we go.
Now it's back to normal. We will have to set our weapon groups again.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with these tiny bugs. Obviously speaking, they shouldn't be in there right now because it's a DLC. You're charging money for it, but it could be set for the base game as well. The TLDR is just feels like maybe they didn't have enough time to fully QA check this. They just need to fix
Yeah,
it.
I'm still in a loading screen. There we go.
Yeah, I just
kicked
dropped out too.
It kicked me from the game.
They kicked you from the game? Okay. Here's what we'll do. We'll abort mission, and we will go back into the lobby, and then hopefully I will probably have to re-invite you guys, right? Recent invite to
I'm still
Merlin.
here. My working theory is they wanted to have something ready for either the sale or for Christmas time, like some kind of DLC. And I think
Yeah, probably for Christmas.
maybe they had all of this. They had like ideas. Maybe it wasn't a really fleshed out idea, but then they're like, we got to have something out for the Christmas time, since we already had the game and it's been a couple months. And so maybe they went a little too quick.
EGW, thank you very much for the 5 gifted subs. What a chat. How's it going, man? I think you had some really good ideas here, Spectre. Oh, sorry, it was Nightstorm, right? So you had some really good point here. I think the DLC one, of course, that they have their whole DLCs mapped out at this point, or at least all the planned DLCs are mapped out at this point. So they know exactly what they want to provide when, right? And I think the first DLC, in my opinion, was just going to be a mech pack for the main campaign. And then they just had this idea, okay, what if we throw this in? And what if we throw this in? Right? That's, I think, how that happened.
Yeah, I think they from what I understand, they had this planned, but they just threw it in now because, you know, it's there. And then maybe later on they'll be fixing a few things and adapting it. But I mean, you know, this is what it is. Sometimes these things happen.
All right, I can move my mouse. My mech is aiming at stuff. Very nice. I got a map. I can set my keys. Hope you guys are not having any bugs right now.
Nope.
And then we can get this started.
I was a little clever and mapped my weapons before we launched.
Oh, that's the pro move. That is the pro move.
Smarty pants there.
But yeah, so that is definitely the move to map your stuff before, and of course it would be nice if you just saved in between. But here we are. So I mean, free for all, gentlemen, just do whatever you want to do. Just don't die. That is, by the way, the number one thing that we had on our comp map strategies. Every single comp map strategy at some point had a little logo somewhere that said, "Don't fucking die." TM. I think that's true to everything here. But yeah, so arena mode against friends, horde mode with friends or with AI against AI. A couple of bugs in there need to be fixed, right? But that can be handled.
New target. Target destroyed.
There are no choppers.
New hostile
That's a lie.
Fire starter. Target destroyed.
Can you imagine if you had like giga range here? I mean, my original feedback still stands for this mode, or for any kind of mode that gets you into long range combat. The zoom itself just doesn't lend itself to doing a lot of long range combat, unfortunately, because you don't see what you shoot at.
Target destroyed.
You're literally pixel sniping, right?
Destroyed.
I've never thought, oh, I'm gonna throw a Gauss on this mech. I can make efficient use of that.
I just think that they need to overthink their zooms. Like 1.35 into 2x is kind of weird. I mean, I've never understood the 1.35 zoom to begin with.
Target destroyed.
Ooh, headshot.
New target.
I think it should just be like 2x into 4x and potentially even a 6x, and that way you have something that actually provides some long range fire, some long range aim, by the way. Also, we found that this hill. Let's see if we can replicate it. I found that this hill had an invisible wall for me, but only from a certain angle. Yeah, there's an invisible wall here. Like, I can literally shoot into the side of the hill here, and my laser beams cross in the air for some reason. But there is a wall there. There's also some like dirt flowing up from the lasers. But only if you shoot from this angle. If you aim at it from the other side, it seems fine. It's kind of a little bit weird. It's not a huge thing. It's just a thing I noticed by accident.
You made a good point though in one of your videos that they really shouldn't add like the picture-in-picture like online has.
Yeah, please no. That's a sin they added in Mechwarrior 4 Mercs as well, right? Or like not by they I mean the developers of Mechwarrior 4 Mercs had that kind of zoom, and they didn't like it there in the first place because it's just so disorienting.
Gives me a headache.
And it has a different issue. Mechwarrior Online, for example, it's the same sensitivity, but you're zoomed in. So you move your mouse a little bit and it moves a lot more than it would normally move. So it also messes up your aim a little bit. So I'm not a fan of picture-in-picture zoom. I just like an actual zoom.
I'm moving a bit back.
Like for example, if you used yet another mech lab or simple zoom.
Annie 238.
Yeah.
New target.
I mean, right now these waves are not dangerous. This feels like seal clubbing right now.
I was taking needless damage.
New target.
Is anybody taking damage?
I'm taking some, but nothing serious.
Hey, MPGs here. Magic
Taking
Base
some
upstairs.
fire,
Be
yeah.
very afraid of a repair base. I got past level 20, but lost 2 Mechwarriors to repair base. So it's basically a trap door. Yeah, MPG. I watched the basically podcast that
Destroyed.
Phil did with you and David and whatnot, and I mean, I found there were some understandable points made on all sides. I found myself agreeing mostly with your points, to be honest. I think from what I'm seeing on the reviews and from the feedback that I'm seeing is that a lot of the discussion is not about whether the DLC is good or bad. It's more or less like expectations, what people wanted to have for DLC, what PGI thought would be a good DLC, or what would be a good time to put this DLC now. And there's a discrepancy there, I feel. Because I would have honestly expected PGI to come out with a story DLC first, and I would have expected it to come out like in 2 or 3 months. I was very surprised to see that they had a DLC 1 month after release, right? Yeah, Brandon, thank you for putting down the shout out.
I would say, I wonder if this was an afterthought, kind of like how, you remember how N64 GoldenEye, how its multiplayer was kind of like done by one dude all by himself, and yeah, it was pretty well done, but it was a little glitchy. But I wonder if somebody was like, one dude thought of this and was like, hey, we should add this, and they're like, yeah, sure, go ahead and start working on it.
No, probably one or two dudes said, hey, we can add this, and we won't need many resources. We can just throw that in. It's gonna work, and that's it. And like I said, I 100% believe Russ when he says that this is something that they didn't plan, that just was put out as an idea, and they went like, yeah, let's do this. And I think that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I just think it would help PGI a lot if they communicated the plans they have for the DLCs, so that people know what they can expect. I don't find anything wrong with mech pack type DLCs. There's in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with that. It just needs to be clearly communicated what each type of DLC is gonna be, so people don't have like false expectations.
Det var da voldsomt, da.
Destroyed.
Sorry about that.
Even a rough roadmap with like, these are things we're thinking about. Give us some feedback on what you would like.
Oh, absolutely. That would help a lot.
Destroyed.
That would help a lot. And I mean, if I was PGI, that's another thing I would do, and this is just like, this is what I would do personally. It doesn't mean that they have to do it, but I would gather up my content creators. This is something that is like totally like bounce free and doesn't have to be anything like crazy of time investment. But I would regularly get together with them and just ask them a little bit of feedback, or bounce a couple of ideas off of them, without being like too concrete or whatnot, and see what they think of it, and use that then to go and have that flow a little bit into the decision-making process. I'm not saying listen to the content creators and do everything they say. I'm just saying you have a sounding board there for ideas that I believe everybody would be happy to be part of, right? And I think they could make use of that and get an initial reaction. That doesn't mean that it's gonna be something that they need to follow or whatnot. If their market research says something else, then afterwards, fine, absolutely. They should just take multiple points for the decision-making process, I think.
Destroyed.
This is something they could do, says MPG, within a month, given that all base systems were ready for it, and the reason why they didn't expand it beyond 5 players, because they had all the elements ready for it. Yeah. They were not going for a matchmaking system or whatnot, because this game doesn't have a matchmaking system, right? It's built for 5-player co-op. It's not built for open PvP. Exactly. MPG sent me a message. Okay, that's a long one. That's a long one. You want me to read that one out? Sailor Jerry, thank you so much for the gifted sub to MPG. Now I can enjoy my content ad-free. Isn't that beautiful?
You know, we're saying
MPG
like
saying,
every 6 months. Oh, go ahead.
to be honest, I just want PGI to be a bit more open about the development outside of a closed tester group and the internal thoughts. Yes, I agree. I 100% agree with that. I would wish for them to do the same as well. Because, like, once again, like everybody, I think there's no discussion about one thing. Everybody involved wants anything about Mechwarrior 5 clans or any following games to be as good as possible and to be as successful as possible. Whether that's PGI
Scanning
from a
complete.
business standpoint and from a professional pride standpoint, whether it's the players, everybody wants this to be as good as possible. And yeah, being a little bit more open about that stuff, I think would really help them to facilitate that. Because they did a really good job with Mechwarrior 5 clans. It's the best thing they've ever done, in my opinion. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
the base game is a lot of fun for clans,
Destroyed.
even if it's a linear story.
I think the base game is insane value.
Detected.
The base game that they sold at $50 for like 30 hours of playtime or whatnot, that is I don't want to say Larian level because that is not the case, but it's going in that kind of direction, and that deserves like a lot of credit for PGI. I think that deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah, I mean, for what they did for the game, it's a big thing.
Destroyed.
They took some reasonably well-trusted content creators, or just people in the community, and just every 6 months
Stalker.
had them all sign an NDA saying, hey, what we discuss in these walls is not to be discussed outside,
Target.
but like, let's have a discussion on what we're thinking, what are you hearing in your communities, you know. Then they can get some real honest feedback, and then, you know, nobody's gonna spoil nothing.
New hostile
I mean, they're
detected.
doing the same thing already, right? They're watching the communities actively. Like you see that devs will be in live streams. I mean, just watching, not necessarily participating, but just getting some feedback, which is it's a good thing. I just think they could get some feedback beforehand, and that might influence where they go. Of course, they need to be careful about that because it might also influence them in going in the wrong direction. That can also happen. It cannot ever be like a closed echo chamber, right? It just needs to be an additional resource, in my opinion. If you're saying that you can compare it to maybe to Space Marine 2 devs, where they're more open about what stuff is ahead. Yeah, I think it's really important to share a roadmap or a vision, so that will help a lot of like confusion, help alleviate that. I'm gonna go ahead and read the message from Magic Penglove. It's a little bit of a long one, but I think that MPG always has really good takes on stuff, so I really wanna give that some voice. So
New hostile detected. Haramoto.
MPG says, I'm pretty sure my stance differs from almost everyone out there, and that includes general community sentiment, Phil and PGI, but I think I understand why PGI did what they did, how they did it, and why they thought it wasn't a problem and why they didn't do more. And it may come off as me defending PGI, but it's not that simple, unfortunately. I don't think the commentary from me, by the way, is I don't think anybody needs to defend anything here. A DLC is a DLC. It is an invitation for you to spend money, and then you can choose to spend that money or not spend that money, and then PGI is gonna change their ideas and opinions and ways of doing things or not, depending on people spending that money or not, right? But okay, so MPG goes on to say, I talked about the DLC a few days before it was released and sort of predicted the reaction ahead of time and knew how the DLC was going to look like, versus some people thinking that we will get higher player numbers, even get matchmaking implemented in the game. To me, it was clear that PGI will be using existing systems for multiplayer, like not going beyond 5 players, because they already have had UI set up for that specific number, and sticking with peer-to-peer and the whole co-op baseline because that's what they already have, instead of trying to go beyond that number, because that would take additional time to code, design, and implement. And I saw the lack of single-player storyline content and element added to the DLC. That was going to annoy people, but that's just wasn't possible for them to do in a short span of time. And I know that they still wanted one DLC released before the end of 2024 for the Q4 financial report reasons for EG7. The consequence of which being is that they purely monetized the game mode essentially, and I knew how people were going to react to it. However, I feel like, and I said that this will send a wrong signal to PGI, making them think they can't monetize game modes in any way, leading them to disincentivize them from further developing game modes in favor of small, fairly short single-player storyline chunks for all the upcoming DLCs, since that is something they can monetize without having a fear of fan backlash. Would I have monetized this differently? Absolutely. But the community as a whole should be really careful communicating this to PGI. If the problems originates mainly from value perspective, then the community needs to communicate that clearly to them. If the problem originates from a principle standpoint, that game modes should never be locked behind a paywall, then that needs to also be clearly communicated to them. Phil thinks it can be both, but that's MPG, disagree. It's either one or the other, or both can be legitimate, but both of these stances will incur different kinds of consequences in terms of future game development. My fear being that PGI will not focus on game mode development and maybe even completely scrap any future PvP because they tried it and people didn't like it. And I think I'm going to be hearing this stance on both PGI and Random Doodles Pepegas in the community. If whatever the next product doesn't have any sort of PvP or PvPVE component to it. I mean, I think MPG made some really good points in there. And I would actually share the same fear in that it's gonna be a challenge for PGI to distinguish in here between negative feedback about the DLC because it was not what people expected or what people or what some people may have wanted, or especially like what they expected in terms of like if they hear the words like player versus player, and that then leading to the wrong conclusions. I would 100% agree. That is one fear that I would have as well. As in like, oh yeah, people didn't like the PvP. Whereas the fact of the matter is, I think the issue is more granular here, right? It's like people's expectations of what stuff is going to be versus what PGI was actually selling within that DLC, which is 5-man co-op / 5-man friends PvP. You build your own lobby with your friends, and then you get in there and you duke it out. That's what this DLC was. And if people want further enhanced PvP, then PGI is gonna need to build that. And that's not gonna be a short thing. It's gonna be something that we have to invest some actual serious resources into it.
Mechwarrior 6 online.
Security.
Thinking about PvP, think about all the issues that arise immediately if people start scamming other players during matches. If there's a PvP mode, then people might want a ranked mode, and you know they have to be careful about people cheating and like all the other associated things that go along with. You could look at it almost like kind of like a fighter game where it's like, oh well, like look at Street Fighter or any of the other market things. Like they have real issues with that kind of stuff.
I mean, we
so
know
the second
that
they start digging into that.
Yeah, we know that Mechwarrior 6 is going to be aimed at having a dedicated multiplayer mode again. That would then potentially supersede Mechwarrior Online. But yeah, that's a different thing. And then you have like a single player game that has a separate multiplayer mode. But then you can develop for both at the same time, right? But for Mechwarrior 5 Clans, it's been designed as a co-op game basically that will have like you can have some modes that you can find your friends in. It's almost like an old school game in this regard, but it's never been aimed at being a PvP game, right?
Right.
MPG says I can't wait to replay this discussion to folks in a year from now.
my expectations of this game, I like from just a purely base standpoint, was just the clan's viewpoint of the same style of things we got from Mechwarrior 5 Mercenaries, where like the clans they don't do little missions jumping around constantly for money for different factions. They're here to invade.
Yeah. I think
And honestly, we've never seen the invasion from Smoke Jaguar's perspective. We've seen it from everybody else's, so why not the Jags finally?
Where did we see it from? The bear, is it Spirit Bear?
We've seen it from Ghost Bear, we've seen it from Wolves, and we've seen it from Falcons.
yeah. Although these have been so long ago that I would actually say we didn't see.
Yeah, they were a long time ago.
Especially in the kind of presentation that we had back then. But yeah, it's been a long while ago. I think personally that we might see some more points of views from different clans, which I would not be mad about. And I'm looking forward to that, and I'm 100% sure that PGI of course has more story content planned, and I think they will have some I don't want to call it filler content, but like additional DLC where you can get your hands on more mechs, different mech models, different paint shops and whatnot. And that's also going to be DLC that is then going to be separate, I believe, from the other DLCs. So actually, you can think of it probably. This, like I said, this goes back to the fact that we don't have a kind of a roadmap or an idea of what's coming. We don't know. This is just me speculating, but I'm speculating that it is tentpole DLCs with a big chunk of story, and then in between will be other DLCs that will add cosmetics or different mech models. I think that's probably what we can expect. What I would not expect is Mechwarrior 5 clans PvP with matchmaking and whatnot. I think something that could happen maybe a year or two down the line as they're trying to develop other stuff that then could be used in a game like Mechwarrior 6, right?
King Crab. Target destroyed.
Yeah, I'm thinking that the DLCs here are going to mostly just be either like add-on stories, which would be cool, or what would be also fun is to see some of these events from the other side. Like, say, play the invasion of Turtle Bay from the Cretan side, and just you're going to get stomped, but you can at least have some fun with it.
You're gonna die, but you're gonna have fun. Is that it?
Yeah.
My idea of fun.
Why do they have... Oh, the M. I was going to say, do they have the Misery Stalker already loaded in game?
Yeah, there's the Misery. And it's got Gauss rifles, but it's not gonna get in range before it dies.
Target destroyed.
So that's that.
So they already have hero mechs for the Inner Sphere plotted in. Okay.
Target.
Now, I think we need to talk about another piece here real quick, and that is the price point of the DLC. And I think that like a lot of the negative feedback, and this is my personal opinion, I think that a lot of the negative feedback about the DLC stems from the fact that people just feel like that PGI was calling for too much for what's being delivered. And that's of course always a subjective point of view. Some people will say, oh, 20 bucks is fine. Some people will say, 15 would have been better. That's where I'm standing. That's why I said in my video that for 15 bucks, I think that's a fair price for what you're getting. Other people might say, hey, it's 10 bucks would be fair, right? I mean, that's a subjective judgment. But I think that's what sparked a lot of the animosity as well.
Luckily, you could get away with just paying 13, I think, because of Black Friday sale.
Yeah, it was on sale through Steam. You got 20% off or so.
Yeah, it was 15 bucks. Yeah, it was 15 bucks. And then again, like that is a judgment you have to make for yourself whether that's worth it to you or not. I said for me personally, 15 bucks would be a fair price point for this.
Considering the content we're getting in this DLC, 10 to 20 seems a little bit high. 10 feels like you're not going to see that too often in this kind of economy, I don't think. But 15 feels a little bit on the right side.
I mean, you
20
also have to
at
consider
base feels just a little bit high, though.
Yeah, I mean, you also have to consider like the insane value they deliver with the base game.
Yeah.
Like 50 bucks for like 30 hours or so, or 30 hours plus. Let's call it 40 because you're gonna replay the campaign, or at least the last parts of it. Even if you just play it once. So that for 50 bucks was one of the best value games, I would say, of the last decade, for me personally. And so if you compare that then to this DLC at a price point of 20, I would argue that that's not a compelling sales point.
And something that I don't know what your feelings are on it, but I think the game is pretty well written. Like, there's no super cheesy love plot that's super stereotypical. There's really well written scenes. Perez feels like he's written fairly compellingly. Like he's not just a puppy kicking villain.
No, but then
kind of maniacal.
Yeah, with some of this though, they've got a lot of background. So like, there's a whole section of this clan invasion novels focused on Turtle Bay. So we get a lot about Perez to start with.
He's one of the more fleshed out characters from the lore.
Even was asking, did they unlock the research after the campaign? Nope. That is still
No.
the same point. That was actually one of my points of criticism when I first talked about the DLC. Is that none of the stuff you do in it has any impact on your campaign. In terms of, I don't know if you get experience for this Horde mode, but you don't get anything else out of it for your research. For example, you can't finish your research. So unless they add a new game plus mode, you will never be able to fully research everything in a playthrough or a campaign.
There's
I
no
wonder
more
if-
repair
go
base,
ahead.
right? No more repair base?
No, not yet.
I mean, the repair base might swallow you whole, so you gotta be careful.
I've used the repair bay a couple times. They seem to be working right
Yeah.
now.
I used it once as well, and now I'm scared. Come to think
I
of it.
haven't used it at all.
Magic Pancov says peer-to-peer system could hold a 10-player match if the host has a good enough connection. If they polish and maybe develop some new game modes, it could be really good, but PGI has a weird tendency to stick to version 0.1 implementation and many things without iterating enough. Yes. I think especially the constant development is a point that needs to be brought up. For example, what I was hoping for this first patch, together with the DLC, I was hoping for balancing adaptations for the weapons. I think the energy weapons are in a pretty good spot and feel nice and feel powerful. I think ballistics and missiles do not feel powerful enough, in my opinion, and I think they need a little bit of a rework or a little bit of a balancing rework. It did fix the Streak SRM6, which annoyed me a lot because it didn't make sense logically. But I think they need to buff ballistics and missiles and to make it more fun to use those.
Streaks are very good, very early, and then they taper off quite quickly. Because it's insane amount of damage in a very short time.
But it always boils down to the same thing. If you want to kill mechs quickly, pinpoint is where it's at.
Yeah.
If you want to have good damage numbers, if you want to look like you did a lot, then yes, sandblasting all the way. But I just think that needs like a reiteration. They need to go back to it and look at it and see what they need to do with that. I mean, I wonder if PGI has access to statistics as like what kind of weapons people like using, because that should also give them an idea of what they need to maybe tweak a little bit or improve a little bit to make it more compelling to use.
I know in
Also
some
a 4x
games.
zoom. At least a 4x zoom. Please,
Yeah, yeah.
4x zoom PGI.
I know in some games they have to ask you if they can take your data for
Yeah.
that kind of like that's data collection points. I don't know if something like that is in the user agreement or not.
It might be. It might be. I think that
Coming
there's
in
at
from
least
the
some
left.
stuff they would get out of it. At least I hope that is the fact, because they need that kind of information to make
Destroyed.
improvements to the game, right? And I mean, another point that needs to be made, of course, while the game was excellent value, a lot of people, myself included, find that the frames per second that we're getting in the game are
Terrible.
very low.
New target.
And they have said they improved on it a little bit, but I mean, right now I'm getting 59 FPS. I don't know. I'm getting better FPS, way better FPS in Stalker 2 than I'm getting in Mechwarrior 5 Clans right now, and I think that they need to invest a lot more work in
Resource
improving that.
Destroyed.
Yeah.
Just making sure the engine runs a little bit better, because it feels like it runs very slowly from an FPS perspective, or unoptimized, I guess is the better term for it. And I mean, I've heard from various sources now that Unreal Engine 5 can run very well, but it needs a lot of time invested into optimizing your stuff. So if that's the case, then I would like to also again for them to communicate like a clear roadmap what they're gonna do, so that we know what's gonna come, right?
I'm getting focused.
Because I mean, this game doesn't look bad, but it makes you feel bad if you're playing this on a high-end system and you're looking at the scene right now and you're getting 54 FPS on a 4070 Ti with 64 gigabytes of RAM, Gen 4 SSDs and the 5800 X3D, and yeah, it just doesn't feel like what I'm seeing on my screen should be having these kinds of FPS. I'm not criticizing the game's graphics. I think the graphics look nice. There's nothing bad about it. It's just the performance isn't there, because for the FPS I'm currently getting, I would expect photorealism. Almost.
I'm getting injured.
Now you can use a repair bay at your own risk right now. And by the way, like, if some stuff is broken in the DLC in the beginning and they have to throw in a hotfix, I mean, that's okay. It happens all the time, right? I wouldn't put that on like a set of golden scales and be like, yeah, we got you now. No. If something like, one thing that the people's like don't seem to understand enough, in my opinion, this is me like breaking a lance for developers everywhere, is that modern games are so freaking complex that it's very easy to have like one tiny thing break and have like a cascade reaction that you don't see until you see the actual end result. It's really hard to catch those, so I'm willing to give people a break.
Spectre, do you want to heal up? You're at 77.
Yeah, but there's
Complete.
Oh yay! They came back.
Dithering
That's
is
sweet.
bad, says MPG.
They come back out after every round, thankfully.
Yeah, the repair base reset, and there's 2 more down farther on if you want to go face to face.
But they will respawn those repair base. So yeah, that's one thing I agree on as well. Like some of the explosions and whatnot, we saw like a lot of pixelation and whatnot. Was kind of a weird effect. But
And some of the weapons are a bit too loud.
yeah, I mean, sound mixing, whatnot. That's all stuff that they can fix afterwards. I think that's not a problem.
They can tweak.
I would just like them to like. I know that's a problem, because if you commit to something, then you have to do it, right? But at least communicate what they want to do, and like in a non-committal way, as in we aim to do this next and that next, without giving like a timeline or anything, so that people know what they can expect would be really nice. And then in terms of roadmap, it would be I think really helpful for PGI if they went out and communicated exactly what they want to do with the game. Like where do you guys want to go with this game, and what can we expect in terms of DLC? Like not nebulous messages, just like clear cut. Yeah, we're gonna do story DLCs, we aim to have them here and here, and then we're gonna do this kind of DLC, and then we might surprise you with some stuff as well, right? Like, of course, you don't have to tell us everything, but give us a clear idea of what we can expect, and I think people would really appreciate that.
Vince McMahon, back when he was making good decisions, made it.
Years ago.
Yeah, yes, it was. He made a very good quote that sometimes the audience does not know what they want. And to some extent, I do agree with that. But it's always good to be listening and having your ear to the crowd, so to speak.
And listening does not mean following their messages.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Right.
You can listen to a lot of feedback. You don't have to follow it, but you should at least listen to it, because you might hear something that's super valuable. But yeah, it can also go sideways if you listen to the crowd too much.
Ow!
Oh, they're getting a little bit more beefy now, right? And angry.
That's a mech I've always liked. The Mauler. Always thought that looked neat.
That's only round 8 though.
Target.
It's a bomb though, like literally a bomb. It's got 3 tons of armor in one of the side torsos, and you just need to
I should
punch
have
through
blood
it.
lasers. Do I have virtualization enabled? No. FPS with restriction off. I have it restricted to 120 FPS, but it doesn't reach 120.
New target. Target destroyed.
I mean, some of the implementations they did with Mechwarrior 5 Mercs, for example, were kind of weird as well. Anybody ever tried to use ray tracing in Mechwarrior 5 Mercs? Then you know what I'm talking about.
That doesn't work.
I mean, I don't know if it works or not. The only thing I can tell you is that it kills your FPS if you try to do that in Mechwarrior 5 Mercs.
Which is why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
New target.
So yeah, performance is something that I think they need to communicate very clearly on what they're gonna do to improve it, because people want smooth gameplay.
New hostile detected.
That's not an optional thing. That's something that I think they need to spend time on, and that's not DLC criticism, because that's just criticism on the full game.
New target.
Was it game
You know,
breaking?
even-
Yeah, no. Was it annoying? A little bit.
Even as a compromise, even if they don't want to give us a full roadmap, maybe just give us a few notes of like, these are things we do not plan on doing.
Destroyed.
Just so we can rule out
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
clear things.
Like for example, that they can clearly say, for example, we don't plan on doing PvP matchmaking for this game, and then that's it. People know exactly what to expect in the future, right? Magic Penglove saying it's more about filtering feedback and not perceiving stuff as negative. Is equals criticism and positive equals praise. It's constructive and non-constructive. Yeah, it's like does this help you reflect? Does this help you, or does this criticism not help you? For example, telling somebody you suck might be criticism, but is it constructive?
Depends if they do suck. It's the truth.
Self-reflection. We're waiting for another wave here,
Yep.
and there goes the repair bay. Goodbye, repair bay.
Yep, one of the other sides coming up is up still.
Oh no, I'm still fine. As long as I don't lose components and bad things happen, yeah, should be fine.
Like when you're at like 83, you need
Scan
to,
complete.
because then you have red armor, which means you can get breached by the big guns.
That's true. Cedar on
Yeah,
YouTube
that's
saying
why I had to duck in the repair bay.
Mercs eats FPS bad with ray tracing unless you have the high-end multi-core GPU with plenty of VRAM. Mercs is a game from 2019. If it eats FPS bad on a 4070 Ti with DLSS and whatnot, then yeah. That's the next point I'm gonna make, by the way. I'm getting 59 or 55 to 70, 73 FPS right now.
Target destroyed.
With DLSS enabled. This is not even running this natively or anything. This is with DLSS enabled.
Target
And that's the point. It just can't be. That's just no.
target.
That cannot be. There's something going wrong here.
Target destroyed. Incoming missile.
But we'll see how my new PC is gonna handle it.
Destroyed. Target
Maybe the answer is just to get a bigger AMD CPU.
destroyed.
Also, spreading the load over 2 PCs instead of having everything on one should help.
It will help a little bit for sure. Like I'm expecting like to see an uptick in like 20% in FPS. I'm looking forward to that. Someone's getting shot. I'm glad it's not me.
It's me. He's looking at me!
Banshee.
MPG saying software, lumen, and global illumination is what's eating most of it.
New
Okay.
Target.
It would be cool if you could then, like, if they could do it a different way, maybe, right?
Target destroyed. Target destroyed.
But the thing is, MPG, like I said, like if I look at a game that is notorious for having a bad implementation, Stalker 2 had lots of FPS issues, although they have fixed most of it. I was able to set my graphics to basically epic levels everywhere, and I'm getting over 100 FPS. I'm getting like 110, 120 FPS if I don't go into a settlement
New hostile
in Stalker 2.
detected.
So if I get that, then
New target.
something like that should be possible in this game, right?
Target destroyed.
We're starting to become bullet sponges.
I mean, they're veterans now, right? Then there's also Elite, and then is there a level above Elite?
No, I don't
I mean,
think
I've tried Trooper on difficulty in the simulator, and what I found is that they just gave them more HP. By the way, MPG, you made a... Was it you or was it Naveed? One of you guys made a really good point about how evasion works, because people don't understand that evasion only works
Target.
if you're moving
Destroyed.
perpendicular to the target. So if the target's moving at you and you're going left to right or right to left from it, then your evasion skill actually works, and you're basically adding to the miss rolls of the target. If you're just moving
Rosen,
straight
too
at the
close.
target, it doesn't work at all.
New target.
Or if you're standing still, it doesn't work at all. So you have to be strafing, basically, for your extra evasion from the evasion skill to come into play.
Destroyed.
Which is something that I think just needs to be explained in the tooltip.
Target destroyed.
Yep, I looked up on the Reddit and people saying it, so I found out quite early.
I'm gonna run down here and use one of these, see if I can make it there and back.
MPG
I've got a
says,
mask, so if
now we
anybody
talked about
can.
evasion, but we all talked about how Pepega AI aiming is implemented in the game. I hate the dice roll aiming of aimbots. Yeah, MPG, I agree with that 100%. That was the way that they implemented aiming in Mechwarrior 5 Mercs in the get-go, and I always told people that it doesn't matter what you do and if you're moving fast or shielding or whatnot. If the AI rolls a hit roll on your cockpit, you can be sitting in Timbuktu and if the bullet is gonna curve around 2 buildings, fly through a cave, go to Mars, go to Jupiter, and still gonna hit you in the cockpit. So
Basically wanted the movie.
that's you guys were saying that it should be like more like a salvo that goes like this, where like the hit roll would determine like how much of the salvo actually hits the component, but some of it will still miss. And I think that would be a better way of implementing it, more like a human aim, right?
New target.
What the? We get so-calls?
Oh shoot! Why
Well,
did I go down here?
You have a problem now. Okay, guys, we have to move. It's time to bail out our friend.
Help!
This is now a rescue mission.
New target.
Help! Help! I'm being oppressed.
Target destroyed.
Yeah, they're all on his butt.
Critical.
We're coming,
Slowly.
New target.
but definitely coming.
Let's get out of here.
So calls down.
I
I
overheated
am
really
cooking
far. That's
myself.
not good.
Incoming missile. Weapons. On.
120% heat. That's probably not good.
Target.
Full jam.
Help!
Maybe
I
not.
have the mask to kind of get out of there. Thanks for saving my butt.
Target
I hope
Use
you
the
have
other
Get over
the
here,
health to get out of here.
weapons. On.
Oh shit, there's more! Oh wait, there's more!
Target's dropping to your right, 247. Careful.
New target. Incoming missile.
Here comes the pain. Whoa, that is an open CT if I've ever seen one. You should really get into a repair bay, man. Ow! Oh, I'm getting hammered now.
Detected. Atlas.
Not in a big way.
tanking.
Whoa! And we got friends coming from the side as well. Okay, we need to move back to our
Destroyed.
defensive position.
Oh, it's a Hellslinger.
Verdant's just chilling on the wall.
New
Yeah, he's
target.
covering for us while we're moving backwards.
Ooh. That's a spicy meatball.
That last drop, last round here, in the first round of 10, is actually very spicy. But we made it spicy though. It's like
Stalker's down.
Well,
Working on
this
Highlander.
time I'm going for the.
Yeah, that Highlander's arm should be open up, ready to pop.
Highlander
but-
seek you in touch.
we went
I
for
was
the hot
trying to make it
sauce.
so 2 more people could get heals, and I'm like, I'm fast. I could handle the getting down there.
Yeah, MPG saying like instead of Novas having 100% headshot tracking while you're jump jetting and twisting, that's a shitty feeling if that happens to you.
Mauler.
That's a freak accident almost, but it shouldn't
The
happen.
Mauler hits me with missiles. Stop it.
And you can get rid of that if you're implementing it a little bit of a different way. I've never liked the Mechwarrior 5 way of doing that. Hit roll aiming basically, where just aimbots you no matter what for a certain period of time. So yeah, I would appreciate it if they changed that. That's not my number 1 issue. But like that would be FPS, but I would appreciate if they changed that a little bit.
New target.
The archer.
Stop with the missiles.
Destroyed.
Have I tried the Viper with 16 machine guns? No.
It's very fun.
In Mechwarrior 5 clans?
Complete. Target destroyed.
No, in the tabletop game, it's really fun.
Because I don't know if you can do it in clans, or if we're talking about Mechwarrior Online right now. But no, we're still
it's-
talking about clans in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, in clans you can run the. There's one that can run 12, I think.
I'm not a fan of machine guns. Like once again, ballistics and missile weapons need improvements in this game.
If they did
Machine gun
anything-
implementation needs to get better.
If they did something, it would be cool because the sound is really good.
They sound great, but they just have no range. It just feels like weird to have machine guns disappear after 200 meters.
New hostile detected.
That's not how. That doesn't fit inside the world of the game. Like it's giant mechs, yes, but it's like
New target.
somewhat believable, right? Like it's not completely out there. And if you then have machine guns that just disappear
Machine
At-
guns
after
should be
200
like
meters, it's weird.
300 to 400 meters.
New target.
300 optimal, and then like that max range 600. And then basically at that point you just hit, but you're not doing any damage, right?
Yeah.
Oh hey, we can repair again.
Hallelujah.
Well, someone, it's Nightstorm. You need to get yourself in the mech bay.
Oh, I am there.
I mean, I might disappear in this mech bay right now. My prompt just went away. This is scary.
Send it to HIFL.
Security overridden.
Let's see what happens.
Scanning complete.
Will we see me again? Or will I get eaten by the mech bay?
Nom, 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 nom.
Field repairs complete.
PvP free for all with machine guns and flamers. Like I said, the co-op, the Mechwarrior 5 Clans co-op PvP or arena mode with 5 friends, when you're all drunk and you're all doing like weird stuff, could be a lot of fun.
Flappers only.
Everyone in the dice sheet with just one machine gun.
Even saying buy a 4080 Super this year or wait for a 5080 next year, I would wait for the 5080. It's gonna be a lot faster.
5080 is gonna be good.
It's also gonna be more expensive though. Like you can bet your asses, everybody, that the leather jacket is gonna jack up the prices again.
Target destroyed.
That poor commando.
It was like, I'm here!
Is-
I
is-
finally arrived! And then,
Is that gonna be like a
My
low
day
storm
has
wave
come,
again?
oh god!
Yeah, we're on wave 11 now.
So that's gonna start with like the easy stuff again.
Destroyed.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, it is a long game mode, but I'm having fun. I mean, for me personally, they could make it so that you could spawn the waves a little bit faster. Like
It
shoot
makes
something
for
and then
good,
spawns faster.
a good conversation piece.
Yeah.
You're just hanging out with your buds, drinking.
Exactly what we're doing right now, right?
Yeah.
well, I'm not.
Well, it is. I was gonna say.
And by the way, if anybody
it's only
wants to,
10:30 in the morning.
if anybody wants to get involved with the discussion, just hop into Discord and I'll pull you into the channel, and then you can have your voice as well. Just keep it friendly in PG. But if anybody wants to jump into the discussion, just hop into the open chat, and I'm just gonna pull you down, like even right now, for example. Gonna
Easy.
pull them into the channel.
About...
There we go, found even.
Hi, Ewan.
Incoming missile.
I'm gonna say your name like the Scottish way, because that's how I say Ewan.
Destroyed.
Even. Yep.
Unless I'm saying it in Norwegian when it's even.
Target destroyed.
I don't know any Norwegian. I got taught a little bit of Swedish from my old Counter-Strike days, but it's just basically a pickup line that will most likely get you slapped.
Probably also arrested.
From what I've learned from you over the past like 6 months, yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all.
By the way, that Hadamotochi has a giant axe.
Yeah, we've had a couple sword wielding victors too.
Have you guys actually noticed that I'm the only content creator out there, to my knowledge, that has told people to not walk into the face of the guys with the giant axe? Because they have all the mechs in there with all the loadouts, for example, from the Call to Arms DLC. Which is a good thing.
It's gotta be like I would presume it is a DLC they have planned where you get access to some mechs that are.
Yeah, with all the hero
Innersphere.
mechs showing up, there's got to be some DLC with the Innersphere hero mechs, or the Innersphere mechs in general
I
being
mean-
yours.
Here's an idea. What about playing, like, what would make sense to also have clan mechs and whatnot? What about a way where you have a campaign where you play as Wolf's Dragoons?
Destroyed.
Yeah,
where you then
that
have to
would
go on
actually
like
be
some
fun.
covert stuff or whatnot, or you take part in some of the early assaults then with Clan Wolf, and then so you have a quote unquote excuse to run Innersphere mechs alongside clan mechs.
Now,
Magic Finger says they need to send a
Considering one of
hatchetman
the-
army at
one of
you.
the endings.
I hate the low mounts on the direwolf.
That's why you need jump jets on a direwolf, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and then everyone sees you and you go like, smack, smack, smack.
That is the name of the game. Yes. That's the problem with jumping up on buildings.
Destroyed.
I've had that a lot of times in Mechwarrior Online, where I jump up on buildings and go full expose and shoot, and then I wonder why everybody's shooting me because nobody else is exposing.
I am so terrible at that. I didn't grow up on keyboard and mouse at all, and I've been trying, and man, I just...
PC Master Race.
Yeah, keyboard and mouse is the PC Master Race way. Mr. Miyagi would approve.
Yeah, well, have you seen the Australian guys that do like MMO skits?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They have one where, oh, I see they opened up for crossplay. I'm gonna give you a free shot, and he misses because he's on Xbox. And then he stabs him in the chest and goes like, PC Master Race, bitch.
Dex on YouTube saying I'd prefer to see more DLCs for Mercenaries, since I'm kind of in that replayable sandbox game. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind PGI to do like a clans DLC for Mechwarrior 5 Mercs, where you just import the clans mechs and you and like then add like a clan start or whatnot. It doesn't have to be super story focused or anything, but it would be cool for people that want to have the clan mechs in the game. And I mean, if they have been modded in already, right? But that would be sort of an official way to get them in.
Target destroyed.
Note to self: this mech has unfair amounts of firepower.
Which mech are you running? Or like build?
17 medium pulse.
Complete.
Right.
Target.
I called this
I'm
mech the
running-
best build in the game, and it is by far, hands down, the best build and strongest build in the
Grasshopper
game.
incoming.
I'm running 2 large lasers and 12.
180.
Scanning complete.
And he's got friends. And now there's artillery.
What? There's artillery?
I just saw artillery discs appear.
No, you're right.
I think it's for us though.
Maybe it's against them.
Destroyed.
I activated the turret.
Destroyed.
Oh,
you
There's
activated
things you
turret.
can activate.
we have
Right, so
artillery.
now
Yeah.
instead of it being missiles, it's actual
How
artillery.
the
Okay.
turns have tabled on you. Wait, what? MPG says, took it from both perspectives. In both games will be fun, Innisphere and Clan. Yeah. I mean, I think the last DLC for Mechwarrior 5 Clans is probably gonna be Tukayit. That wouldn't
I've
surprise
got-
me.
Turkish
I've gotten hints and whispers of that event, and boy, I can't wait to experience that in some context.
I played
And
it
then
on the
Mechwarrior
tabletop.
6 could be Operation Bulldog.
That'd be nice.
Where it's like, yeah, you played Mechwarrior 5 Clans, and now Mechwarrior 6, you get to play in the friendly unit of Victor Steiner Devian. And we're gonna say hello to the clan homeworld. And we're gonna take a huge dump on them.
Destroyed.
Well, technically you just have a smoked barbecue with Jaguars.
Yeah, the smoked Jaguar is no more.
Well, until the Oakland era.
Yeah, but
by the way,
that's-
let's open up a controversial topic here. Did you guys find that this game is pandering to like, how would I put it? Like DEI stuff or like strong woman stuff or whatnot? Because I've seen people making that excuse, not that excuse, that accusation to Mechwarrior 5 Clans, and I didn't find that. I found the characters to be believable. They're strong because they're strong, not because they're a certain gender or whatnot. So I found these accusations actually pointless, but I would
people
like
yeah,
to hear
it's
your
kinda
point of view.
Contrarian.
It felt very appropriate for Mia, where like after she gets, you know, backhanded,
Destroyed.
and then she decides to take, you know, however long they ended up taking, and she decided to work out.
And
She was
goes
already
crazy.
kind of a psychopath.
Being a clanner, that doesn't take much.
Hey Jerry, how's it going, man?
It is going. Hello all.
The Sailor Man is here after his glorious conquest yesterday.
Yeah, I watched the video, it was fun.
Woke agenda,
did
that's what
too.
I meant. Thanks, Marcus, yes. I didn't find it in there. Honestly, I just found that BattleTech in general, with how the novels were written or whatnot, it was always a very believable kind of future for me, where it's like, yeah, it like with the clans it just doesn't matter. With the clans, it matters like what kind of warrior you are. If you're looking at mech warriors, and that's it. It doesn't matter if you're what your skin color is or if you're male or female. You're piloting your freaking battle mech. It's a force multiplier. It doesn't matter.
Is there available?
Security overridden.
There is. I can run towards it, or is someone else running towards it?
BattleTech was woke before woke was cool.
Yeah, I think it's it's not good into what it has become these days. But yeah, so I honestly don't subscribe to that criticism. I feel that this game, the characters were written in a way that was believable, and I didn't find like any hidden agendas in it. If you want hidden agendas or agendas getting forced down your throat, try Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Or
Well,
don't.
there's one agenda. War crimes are bad.
War crimes are bad, but we're still doing them.
Of course we are. We're Smoke Jaguar.
I have a buddy.
It's so bad that he gets command again. That's how bad they are. We'll just turn our blind eye for a couple years.
I have a buddy who was very upset that Jaden could defect. That he was even in his wheelhouse of like things he could think about.
Oh, it happened with several of the clans that had people who went like, "Oh, this is dumb. I'm leaving."
I mean,
Yeah.
look at Clan Wolf and the Wolf's Dragoons. I mean, yes, the wardens and whatnot, but I mean, they're quote unquote defecting from the what could be seen as the original clan way.
Yeah, and there's actually a couple of different stories about clan warriors who are basically disillusioned with being kicked down, so they just leave the clans entirely. One of them
Somebody
actually
like
has,
Naomi.
yeah, one of them actually finds a descendant of Stefan Amaris and takes his corpse back to get back into the clan.
Target.
Doesn't the descendant
can't
of
remember what
Amaris
it
actually
is.
get killed? Because like there's a novel around it, right? There's a novel where
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets killed, but
yeah.
his body was frozen,
Ah.
and it was given to
Yeah.
a medical
So
lab.
there's then this guy
Carbonate?
comes up in the periphery as a leader, and it's one of the like novels that came out.
Destroyed.
I want to say in the late 90s. I have it at home. I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically, they're a merc unit and they get a clanner. They go out after this contract, and they find that the contract is against a group led by Stefan Amaris' kid, and the clanner kills him, cuts off his head, and takes it back as proof that, hey, I'm actually still a good clan warrior, and they take her back into the clan.
Oh, so that works. I mean, the novels are actually quite nice to read.
And
Some
I
of them are
felt
better than
so
others.
many
But
vaginas across the world sealing up right now after that explanation.
oh, well.
Just dry as the Sahara right now. Just not a lick of moisture to be found anywhere. Just
Marauder 2.
Well,
Comment.
I just got demonetized on YouTube. That's it. Game over.
Yeah, I just came in here to talk smack, call you all bad things, and they're negative things. I've said it.
So what Jerry is saying is that you are all bad and you should feel bad.
Exactly.
Good old Professor Farnsworth quote. By the way, YouTube chat's mentioning elementals. Cedar. I think elementals is something that they need to add into the game at some point. I don't know how hard it's gonna be to get that in, but it would be so cool to say, finally, infantry together with elementals. Or against elementals, although that would not be a fair fight.
Sure
yeah.
would. You're all in light mechs. Everybody has to fight the elementals, and you're all in like Commando 2Cs.
By the way, can we just take a second to appreciate that the Horde mode actually has different weight classes, which is something that I have asked for forever, because in Mechwarrior 5 Mercs and in clans, there's a clear progression from light mechs to assault mechs. That's your progression, right? And there's no way around the deck. You're never forced to take any like lighter mechs later on. And I think that's something that they should think about for the next story DLC, to send you a couple missions where you actually have to go light.
Like
And the Horde mode has light mechs as well, right? So that's nice.
Complete.
like the mission where you have to run a scout mech to draw all the mechs into the ambush in Mercs.
That is an interesting one, yes. I personally
Yeah.
did not like that mission too much because the way the aiming works, and it was kind of like hit or miss whether you could actually get through or not. Because sometimes the AI would miss you and sometimes it would just annihilate you.
Missile.
So
I run it with fully armored spider. Because it's the fastest
Yeah,
one.
I did
And,
that one in a
then
fully
had-
armored Phoenix Hawk with nothing but ER smalls or small lasers, and I just ran for it. Small lasers and active
Phoenix
probe
Hawk
to find them, and they just
shame.
ran.
Yeah, it just depends on the execution, right? But I think for that kind of content, I support that. I just want the stuff that you have beforehand not become irrelevant, right? And in clans, for example, there is a clear progression throughout the weight classes. And I mean that progression was there in Mechwarrior 4 Mercs as well, for example. Like it's not a thing that is just a PGI thing. I just wish there were immersions that force you to actually use some of the old stuff, because I feel that would add something.
And speaking of that Mercs mission with mods, you can totally cheese it with just launching UAVs.
Yeah, if you run it with another mech lab, you can just launch some UAVs. That is true. But wave is 14. I mean, we've been murdering for quite a bit here.
Yes.
But like you said, it's a good background for having conversations with the bros. Kick back a
Whoa,
couple
did
of
somebody
beers.
watch that cataphract bounce around? That was weird.
I just want to see you guys make it through without any glitches.
Fingers are crossed. Fingers are crossed.
So many.
But we are playing the special TTB version of it. It's a special streamer version. It's only for corporate shills though, like me.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot TTB became a corporate show.
Yes.
Yeah, we all got to be corporate shells. Remember that.
I didn't quote unquote defecate enough on the DLC, so that's why I'm a corporate shill. Because I made a personal statement of what I consider fair value. Therefore, I am Mr. Shill.
Destroyed. New target.
I bought the DLC like
Target destroyed.
2 days after it came out.
Except we have an agreement. We'll tell Daddy PGI that you did good.
Thank you.
All of a sudden, Phil pisses off PGI, and TTB all of a sudden shills for PGI. What universe am I living in?
Oh god. A weird one. I know. I have the firm conviction that everything they do well needs to be praised. Everything that doesn't
don't
work out
do
well
well.
needs to be pointed out so that they can go ahead and fix it, right? They will need that feedback. And I just can encourage everybody that's listening or watching this at some point to if you have feedback, make sure to actually vocalize it, but vocalize it in a manner that's actually helpful to them. Hate
There's
reviews on
something-
Steam are not going to be helpful to them. Like, by all means, if you found your experience with the DLC negative and you want to post a review, write a negative review, but write it in a way that, like, if your goal is for them to make things better, write the review in a way that they can understand what you think they did wrong and what they should do to make it better. If you're interested in stuff getting better. If you just want to vent, I mean, I guess go vent. I don't think the review area of a game is
Scream into
a
the
good
void.
spot for that, but sure. I mean, sometimes people just have to vent. Everybody has to vent at some point.
No, come on, TTB's Discord and just go, ah!
How about no?
I mean, at some point I have to vent as well, right?
No, we have to blame you because you work for them.
You're a shill.
You're shy.
Yeah. If
All right, any other enemies spawning?
here's the thing. By the way, full transparency. I've done 3 pieces of content for PGI in the past 8 years. They were paid. Everything else was unpaid. The only thing I'm getting from PGI is mech packs and or DLCs, and that is it. Everything else is my own opinion.
Did we bug? There's no mechs spawning. We're in the middle of round 14.
I think there's something somewhere still that we haven't seen.
Who
Hang
wants
on.
to find it?
I'm gonna
patient.
have
Just be
a
patient,
quick.
they'll come.
Hang on. I'm gonna have a quick out of body experience
Uh-oh.
to try and see if I can find what's wrong. TTB is on the hunt. Yes, I'm haunting the map right now.
Ghostly haunting.
I'm not seeing anything though.
Uh-oh.
I'm doing the brave thing, or stupid.
The thing is, I've
It's remarkable how too often
I would
those
go
things
out there,
come.
but I'm at 74,
Yeah.
so no.
I'm just
Well,
I would go
flying
out
through the
there,
map
but
right now, trying to see if
I'm a
anything
big
is
wussy,
caught in the
so I
spawn
can't.
points, maybe. But yeah.
I went down there once before. I ain't doing it again.
I'm not seeing anything. Is that? That's not an enemy.
Scanning complete.
No, that's just part of the map, right? Yeah.
Somebody must have spawned under the ground or something.
Maybe fell into the ground. That's the only explanation I could have. But there's nothing.
I wonder if that Atlas that was coming up that disappeared all of a sudden. I thought we killed it, but maybe it fell through.
No, it's using stealth armor.
Uh-oh.
Stop
I'm just-
shooting at me!
Trying to see if anything is AFK or something, but I mean, there's a couple of spawn boxes back here.
Security overridden.
Yeah, I think it may have
So you're
bugged out,
saying your
friends.
playthroughs are thorough and concise, at least so far as I've found by watching many hours of them. Thank you for that. Okay, there's nothing in this box. I'm playing what's in the box. There's nothing in here.
Are you looking in her box or his box?
I'm looking in mech boxes right now. Yeah, there's nothing I can see. That is a little bit sad. I mean, I could look. I haven't looked fully under the map yet. Maybe something fell through.
There's a mine to go hack.
Maybe it's the
Stop
mine.
shooting my leg!
I'm still waiting for the Steiner Scout Lance to drop.
Hey guys, can you hear me now?
It's dropped several times
Yes, I can
already.
hear you. A little bit silent.
Great, new main mode, new fun.
Scanning complete.
Are you also using a different kind of microphone? You're sounding like very far away. Are you maybe getting picked up by a webcam or something?
Scanning complete.
I cannot
Yes.
find anything, guys. There's nothing under the map that I could see. If there's, I see the light under the map right now, but that's it.
He sees the light!
I don't even know
We
where
beat
I'm
that
at
ass so
anymore.
hard it
now.
didn't even want to spawn anymore. It's like, nah, we're good.
Don't go towards the light.
Now that's a little bit of a disappointing ending to this because I was hoping that we could actually finish this with 20 waves, but
What we
Yeah.
can do is kill
Scanning
each other.
complete.
apparently we're
Like
not allowed to do
suicide.
this. Apparently the solution to this is that we will have to do this again at some point because we didn't get the full 20 waves, even though I think we could have easily done it.
Complete.
Like no question in my mind.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I had yet to see this mode be completed to 20. It glitches out before.
Yeah, the bugs. This is like the third or fourth time it's bugged out for me now. I think it's
So,
just too hard to get there.
Basically, this will need another hot fix early this week.
Probably, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean it's
I
a
think
fair
they said-
assessment to make.
I think they said like Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, the hotfix is going to drop. I can't remember though. I know there's something about it.
Oh, MPG's got some finishing problems. I heard they got pills for that.
You got beyond level 20, but you couldn't finish because you didn't die properly. Yeah,
I mean, it just leads credence to my idea that maybe they were pushing this DLC to be done for the holidays.
Yeah, quite possibly.
definitely for Q4. I mean, we're still in Q4, right? The game sold in Q4, and anything you do right now is going to add to their Q4 numbers as well, right? So,
We all know how corporations are with their Q4 numbers.
I mean, they need to
No.
make money, right? That's
Yeah,
the
well,
thing.
there's
There's nothing wrong with making
He
money.
should tell us. TTB will tell us.
Yeah,
I've
You
worked
work
in
for
the
them.
I've worked in the free economy. So yeah,
The
Like,
free
Q-
shilling,
for-
the free
num-
corporate shilling.
Q numbers are important. I have done presentations on how to increase quarterly numbers and whatnot for a small little company based out of Canada.
That looks like the bridge of
called
a
Broadband TV.
Star Destroyer.
Very.
At least we can look at your mechs. I can see, for example, that one of these direwolves is not like the other. One is completely melted into a slag heap.
This
One
door
was
is
fighting
Care
like a
of your
planner,
Yeah, this
paint
door
shop,
does not want to
boys.
open.
and the
No.
other was fighting like an inner sphere.
Oh, well, I'm one to talk. My mech's also burned to a crisp.
Everybody shoot the door.
You were fighting
kidding,
like a planner.
my CT is almost cored.
Well, the positive thing for me is I can go through here. By the way, this is the map that you
MPG is
play
right.
in the
Once again.
clan side. It's the second clan mission where you drop on this beachhead and then you go through this door here and then you go into the factory. That's the map. It's recycled for that, which is fine. I have no problems with that. I mean, they just use what they had because why spend days and weeks building some area when you've already built it out, right? Just take it and use it. I
Right.
have no qualms with that.
Well, how many times did you say they reused that Comstar building that was in the main game?
Infinite.
The Mercs building? Oh,
No,
no,
the
although this
Comstar
one,
building.
yeah, I've seen it a couple of times. Yeah, we've destroyed Comstar's offices multiple times. But that's okay.
Well,
Right,
Comstar
like
does
in a-
have offices literally everywhere.
I mean, it's freaking Space
why- that's
Telecom
why
anyways, right?
Yeah, I mean that's
Space
why
AT&T.
Tex always says, remember to pay your space phone bill.
No. It says
Yep.
pay your bills, fucko.
Well, I wanted to say it nicely so it could
Pay
stay
your
on
bills
YouTube.
or else.
Yes.
Now, if you're gonna quote the great text, you gotta do it right.
See if there was a button that said spawn the next wave, we could fix this. But yeah, I have no idea what's going on right now. I kind of feel a little bit like Jeremy Clarkson right now. Well, on this terrible disappointment, it is time to
It's
end this
time to end.
discussion and the test of the DLC. But you know what? At least we can say that the part that works, I would say, is fun. But you need a couple of buddies. Otherwise, if you're getting solo fun out of this, sure, why not? We're also witnessing some betrayal live in action right now.
Round 1, begin.
Kill the betrayer!
All right, kids. You know the statement? I don't know who started this, but I'm gonna end it.
Guys, just can't we get along? Come on, guys.
I died.
Take my Gauss vomit! Oh no, I'm dead.
That didn't last long.
I died horribly.
And now we play the
Cooldown
song.
is so long.
Soul Survivor.
Boxes.
Now the next phase spawns.
Now I'll just slow walk into the sunset or
I
sunrise.
don't know. You can
There we go.
eject. Is that Shift E or Shift Exit? I don't know.
Now we're just waiting for the
No.
next phase
It's
to spawn.
Control F5.
So what Russ was saying, because some people were saying, okay, this stuff should have been in the base game already and whatnot. I'm having trouble with that a little bit. Like, I know that I have said something like that on other games and on other issues, and I still stand by that. But in this case, they already delivered so much. Go away, Ed. Elon, stop it. It delivered so much already in terms of story and play time with what they delivered. I think it was more than fine in the way that it got released in. The only thing that was missing was polishing. So, some people also said that they basically accused PGI from cutting content from the main game so they can sell it as a DLC. I don't buy it. I'm not subscribing to that conspiracy theory. And here's the thing. Unless anybody has concrete proof, I would always assume the good in people and not bad intentions. And I honestly think that their first idea for a DLC was just a mech pack, a classic mech pack. And then some of the developers said, hey, you know what? We could do this with like minimum effort, or like not effort is the wrong term, with minimum resources involved, like one or two people just coding this together. And they say, okay, we can do this and we can do that, and we just put it in there, and I think people will be happy with it. I think that's how I think that conversation went. All right. So yeah, Russ was saying DLC is often controversial in the marketplace, and he's right about that. DLC is always getting looked at with very critical eyes. PGI has maintained a very positive reputation regarding DLC with good amount of paid content coupled with significant free updates boosting the base game. I mean, so we're talking in this case, of course, both Mechwarrior 5 Clans as well as Mechwarrior Online, and they've delivered a lot of free stuff. I mean, Mechwarrior Online on the other side, I mean, some of the DLC packs, the pricing is very high for a free-to-play game, very high. I don't think that's not a hidden thing or anything. I mean, mech pack prices were, like, for a free-to-play game, MWO was on the expensive side, definitely, hands down. But over the last couple of years, they've also started giving out a lot more free content. So I think it kind of balanced out somewhat. And once again, you never had to purchase anything. You could just wait until it is available for C-bills, right? For Mechwarrior 5 Mercs, I mean, it's the same thing. They made it so that some of those game modes you didn't have to have. You could just have a buddy and play multiplayer then, right? And I mean, they did add some extra non-paid content as updates. That was also fine. And the DLCs for Mechwarrior 5 Mercs, all worth it. One exception, Call to Arms was bad. And I've never made a secret that I didn't like Call to Arms. Call to Arms as a DLC was not on the same quality level of the other DLCs ever being made. On the other side of things, Kestrel Lancers, Inner Sphere Heroes, Rasselhag, even and the Cretan campaign, all fun. Solaris was funny thanks to Duncan Fisher, but Solaris could have used a couple more missions. So when it comes to, and then he goes on to say, also include the fact that all Mechwarrior 5 Mercs and Mechwarrior 5 Clans DLC provides DLC sharing for co-op mates that don't own the content. This continues with Mechwarrior 5 Clans of 2-1 difficulty and 8 new Omnipod sets. Yeah, it's 8 new Omnipod sets that were put in for free. When it comes to Trials of War, neither game mode and Horde mode or Arena mode even existed as ideas when we shipped Mechwarrior 5 Clans. This idea was planned and built from scratch all since Mechwarrior 5 launched. For that reason, and with 12 Euromex, we felt there was good value. Like, I think if it just was a 12 Euromex, they could have just gone with a $10 DLC, right? And if it was this plus those 2 game modes aimed at people playing with their friends and whatnot, I think $15 is, like, I mean, some people will say it's high. I would say it's still fair, but I mean, it's a $5 difference. Some people will argue the heck out of this. Some people have the money, some people don't have the money. Some people will argue over whether $5 more or less is acceptable for 2 hours, and then they go to Starbucks to get a $5 coffee, and boom, there you go. Goodbye money, right? So, yeah, this is like, you can always debate the quote unquote value of something. Everybody's gonna assume a different kind of value for whatever, right? That's an individual thing. We anticipate that over time, the Trials of War DLC will receive updates with additional maps for Horde mode, for example. Everyone should make their buying decision based on the value you see today, however. Thanks for the support. There's nothing wrong with that. I personally think that the DLC, this is something that they could patch in, of course, but I personally think that the DLC should patch into the whole game somehow. I mean, if they added extra story missions, for example, that was something that came up during Phil's stream. If they added a couple of story missions, like 2 or 3 story missions to this, they could have added that into that whole timeline where you are on that planet doing garrison, like on Courchevel, after Liam, right? You could have had like some training missions, or you could have had some trials against other clans and whatnot that utilize those new mechs, so you would find those new mechs, or somehow that could be possible. And they could also give you the Horde mode, for example. That could be something where you basically farm resources for research, because it would be nice to be able to do the research. And I think that a tie-in from those modes, specifically from Horde mode, into your campaign, so you get some extra materials for research. You can finish the research in your campaign, would be nice. Or maybe a New Game Plus, right? Where you just take over your existing research and stuff like that. Well, everybody, I was hoping that this was some value to you. Hopefully you got some nice ideas right here. And if you have different thoughts, or if you share our thoughts, put them in the comment section below. Thank you so much, supporters. Couldn't do it without you. If you want to join Team TTB, check out the join button right here on YouTube, super thanks button in the comment section, or of course the links to Patreon or the merch store listed in the video description.